Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora and this is my 6th update to Pan That Palette 2024. I've got exciting progress to share with you in this update. Let's just jump straight into it. So I've been working on the Revolution Kombucha Kiss palette, although mine is heavily frankened, since January 2023, so for over a year and a half now. And here's what this palette was looking like at my last update. I wanted to finish heating up, that's the left-hand bottom corner Franken shade. I also wanted to hit pan in Energy, that's the yellow matte in the top row, and I wanted to hit pan on my pink Franken shade Scorching in the very last column. And then finally I wanted to complete a No Pan Left Behind just one time through on this palette as well. And I can tell you that I have managed to hit every single one of these goals as of today. So here's what my palette is looking like today. So I have managed to hit pan in Energy, finally. We'll get to the amount of uses in a moment. And I also managed to hit pan on Scorching. There's quite a nice bit of pan expansion taking place here already. And then I did finish up heating up as well. I also managed to hit side pan in Light Up. That wasn't a goal, but it's just a nice little extra perk. And you might remember, or you might have spotted it, I also frankened this shade here called Passion. Chaos was already finished. Energy I have used 8 more times since my last update. It took me 60 uses exactly to hit pan, but I'm now at a total of 66 uses. Pan is still really small though. Spice, a brown Franken shimmer, I have used 8 times since my last update, and that's 9 uses in total, so I only had 1 prior use on this new shade. Charcoal I've used 6 times since my last update. This, as well as Energy, is an original shade, and I'm now at a total of 44 uses. Light Up, my most used shade since the last update. I've got 20 uses on here, and that's 27 total uses on this Franken. It's identical to Heating Up, by the way, the one that I had finished. Moving on to Heat, another one of the original shades, 4 uses, and that's 32 in total. Passion, since frankening it, I have used once. Fiery, I've also used once, and it's in this eye look. I'll talk you through that in a bit more detail in a moment. Blazing, I've used 5 times since my last update, and that's 42 total uses. Sizzling and Rebel were already done, and then Scorching I have used 9 times since my last update. It only took me 8 uses on this Franken shade to hit pan, and I'm now at a total of 14 uses. Heating Up I used 16 times since my last update in order to finish it, and that was 30 total uses. Really not bad for a Franken. Flames I've used 3 times, and that's a total of 22 uses. All or Nothing, another Franken I've only used once since my last update, wearing it in my outer corner today, and that is a total of 10 uses in this Franken. And then the Dark Side I've used 19 times, and that's a total of 73 uses. So I've also managed to hit my No Pan Left Behind goal, only just, because today I used the last 2 shades that I hadn't used yet, and that was Fiery and All or Nothing, and I just happened to, yeah, that was exactly what I wanted to try out. How would it look to do an orange all over the lid and then a brown shimmer on the outer corner? And I think I'm okay with it. I'm not loving it. I did use the Elf No But Shadow Stick in Bronze Metal underneath the orange, but I think it's something that I could potentially pan, just, you know, at least for trying to hit pan in both Fiery and Flames. Flames is definitely a lot closer. I think I will aim for pan for the next update. I think I'm getting close. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try that. Maybe it might look nice with blazing as well in the outer corner, or with the dark side, just more like an all matte look. Or maybe like Spice or All or Nothing, which are pretty much identical on the outer corner. I'll just see how I feel. But yeah, I'm kind of pleased that I found a way of making this work. I'd said at the end of my part 2 30-day makeup bag challenge video, where I gave you like a mini in-between update, that I wanted to try out the orange with this one in the outer corner. This is from the Catrice Tropic Exotic palette. It's just shade number 2. It's definitely more like berry tone, but I didn't really like how that came out, so I don't think I'm going to try and pan that look. I think I'm more happy with this sort of, yeah, brown in the outer corner, making it a bit more rusty rather than pink. Okay, I'm now going to talk goals, but also show you certain looks that I've got in mind for how I'm going to use these shades. So goals first for next time. I would like to finish Light Up. I think that's totally doable. And then I would like to try and hit pan in Heat and also in Flames. And I'd like to expand the pan on Scorching. I had initially been working on 3 different palettes within Pan That palette, but I'm now going to go down to 1. However, I'd like to bring other shades on, handpick them myself. Maybe sometimes they're shadows that are in other projects to help me to achieve my goals. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish this by the end of this year. We'll see how that goes. I might continue to pan it, or I might just franken whatever I've got left, and just to move this packaging out and have it, you know, a little bit more consolidated. There's still 5 months to go, obviously, so we'll find out when we find out. Okay. Energy. In order to hit pan, I had used this in a pink look with Scorching to blend out the crease. It's a sort of take it or leave it thing for me. It doesn't make or break the look. I'd happily do a pink look without using a yellow matte. I'm not a fan of yellow mattes. I've got enough other yellow mattes in my collection. I'm going to franken this. And I think I want to franken it with a purple shimmer from my Revolution Jewel Glow palette here. This palette is one of my older palettes, and I think it might have been on sale when I bought it initially. So it's on the older side, you know. And some of these shades are just quite prone to hard pan now. This one, for example, and this purple shimmer as well. The swatch is not too terrible, but I think I'm going to franken that with the yellow here with this one. Let's put them next to each other. If you can see that. Yeah, and I'm now going to try and put the yellow on top. I mean, since they're like on the opposite end of the color spectrum, yeah, we'll just see how that turns out. I just find it far easier and actually more enjoyable to pan like a brown neutral look. I'm majorly getting back into brown neutrals. And of course, that's why so many of my Frankens are brown neutrals, because I'm just finding it easier to pan them. With these 3 other brown shimmers, so Spice, Passion, and All or Nothing, I'm not too worried about setting any goals for these, because I know once I've finished Light Up, I will naturally go to one of these. I'm probably going to play around with all 3 of them and then decide which one I want to focus on next. With charcoal, I'm also not really too worried about this shade. I found a really nice look to pan that involves charcoal and that also involves heat. I'm basically using this green shimmer here called Glam Green, and this is from the Natasha Denona Ayana palette, which I got from Ruth. Wearing this all over the lid, and then charcoal on the outer corner, and then heat on top of the outer corner as well. It blends together really nicely, and it just turns into this more green leaning neutral matte, which I really love. And I think that will help me to hit pan and heat, and it will also help me to expand the pan on charcoal. So yeah, that's Light Up. Really not worried about finishing that. I've just, yeah, like I said, really been enjoying using this shadow all over my lid, and then mainly with the dark side on the outer corner. I think that looks really, really nice. Super easy, I don't have to think about it. Matches with anything I'm wearing, any kind of occasion, event I might be going to, you know. Yeah, always works. All right, Passion I already mentioned. Fiery, although I'm wearing it today, but that was just to complete the No Pan Left Behind. I think I'm going to ignore this for the next month or two. Blazing, I've got to look how I enjoy panning this one. Number one, I quite enjoy putting it on the outer corner when I use Scorching, the pink shimmer here. That looks really nice. And then I use it for my fun-sized and better together Pan That palette, Fantastic Ladies, Facebook themes. All the links are below. I've got a look that I pan for Blazing, and I'm trying to hit pan in these other two shades here. So yeah, that's the Too Faced, that's my Jam palette. And I basically use Toast all over the lid, and then Blazing on the outer corner, and then the purple shimmer on top with my finger. Absolutely love this look. I feel like I mention this in every update. Yeah, it's just really, really fun. I tried using the pink shimmer as a topper shade yesterday, and it was too dry for that. It didn't quite work. It's still quite powdery, flaky, but not as smooth, buttery as this purple one here called Violet Femmes, by the way. And the pink one is called Jam Session. So yeah, I mean, initially I had this goal of hitting pan in every single shade. There are 2 pans in here now in Jam on it and Pickup Limes, but yeah, maybe I'll manage to hit pan in Toast and Violet Femmes as well, but we shall see. I'm sort of like, I'm having this project still going on in the back of my head. I will update you, but it's not a major goal for me right now. My biggest goal, not just for Pan That palette, but across my entire panning projects, is to actually finish the Kombucha Kiss. Yeah. So this is helping me because it's helping me to use Blazing, and that's great. And that gives me 2 different ways of using Blazing, so hopefully there'll be another pan expansion visible in the next update. Scorching, yeah, just all over the lid with Blazing. I'd already said that. I do want to try and expand that pan, like I said, as a goal for next time. I mean, I think that should be doable. These Franken shades are easy to go through. Yeah. Flames, I want to try and hit pan. So yeah, I will try and do that with brown in the outer corner. All or Nothing might be a focus shade once Light Up is done, or maybe one of these two. I already said that. And the Dark Side is just the good, you know, everyday neutral eye look, outer corner type of shade. So yeah, that's what it is. I've got other palettes here that I want to show you. So initially I had also included the BH Cosmetics Glory Vivace palette within my Pan That palette selection of this year, but I'm now rolling this one out of this project officially. I really like this palette though. I do really enjoy this palette. It is very nice. I felt that I was holding back a lot of the times because these shimmers are so smooth. They're really, really lovely for applying, you know, as a topper shade with your finger, and I didn't want to force the pan by using a brush. It's still a really new palette to my collection, about a year old, a little bit more. I still consider that new. I'm on a low buy for eyeshadow palettes right now. So yeah, I've only bought one this year. Yeah. And a lot more in 23, but yeah, this was a 2023 addition to my collection. It was a gift, and I just want to hold on to it for now. And of course, its time will come when I want to pan this, but not yet. I just want to savor it a little bit. However, I do sort of unofficially want to roll in the Catrice Tropic Exotic palette. When you look at this palette, there are a couple of shades missing that I could be using and I want to be using every day. Inner Corner Highlight, Brow Bond. So, and I do have that in here in this Catrice palette. I think the formula in here is still really, really beautiful. And I would just like to dismantle this as much as possible. Use it up, Franken here and there. Maybe, you know, hit pan on all of them first. Because I already started ruining this palette. Yeah, I mean, it's on its way out. It was already on the chopping block. So I will update you when there's progress. I think that'll be exciting. I might be moving some of these shades into Do You Pan My Batch Tip as well, which I'm doing over on Instagram. But yeah, there's no updates for that on YouTube. So it might be fun to just track that a little bit here as well. So, okay, the teal shade originally had pan in it. And I'm just a bit over blue shimmers at the minute. I've also just still got a ton of other blue shimmers and other palettes, so I didn't need to hold on to it. And I thought, since Passion, the original Franken, so many Frankens in that shade though, but yeah, anyway, the Franken that was in Passion at my last update, I just didn't enjoy using that. It was too orangey, shimmery for me, so I thought if I mix it with a blue, that could work. Okay, here is the Franken that was originally made from that. So this is Passion, and the teal shade from Catrice. It is quite blue leaning. I'll show you what the palette looked like after I'd Frankened it. And I just pressed it into 2 pans, so in the single here and then into there. And then I used it a couple of times, realized that it was still too blue for me. I'd gone too far the other way now. And then I just mixed a couple of shades from this Revolution Astrological, Regeneration Astrological palette into this Passion, into the Franken of the Franken of the Franken. Made another Franken. This palette I had already officially decluttered last year. I still held on to it because I thought it might come in handy for some Frankening projects. And oh yes, I am super happy with Passion now. I'll give you a little swatch. So here's Passion now. Beautiful. Love this. And let me give you a swatch of the blue that I had done. Here's that. It's a beautiful shade, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I just didn't feel like putting a blue in here. I just want to keep it simple for myself. So that was it from me for this update. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you also to Amber F, who has of course created Pad That Palette, and I absolutely love watching all of her older videos. That gave me so much motivation for Pan That Palette, and for finally, as well as doing that 30-day makeup bag challenge, that really helped me to reframe how I see all of my makeup project pans, and to have Pan That Palette as my main focus instead of trying to do all the different things all at once and then just stressing myself out over a hobby. Also, thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. If you're not subscribed yet, I'd love for you to join. It would mean so much to me. And other than that, I hope you're having a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care. Bye.